All right, good morning, traders. Today, January 15th, 2026. My name, Coach Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. That's the day trading division of the Hit and Run Candlesticks family. Thank you, everybody out there, podcast land, digital land, cyber land. Thank you for following my content, subscribing to my content, liking my content, leaving kind words on my content, and sharing my content. So special shout out to Bob Jordan, John Jordan, Kathy, Sarah, and Roasted. Thank you so much for sharing the content and sharing it with the rest of the world. Appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. All right, so my spike pivot this morning, 688.50. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Silver and gold in IWM made, as well as T21.23 made new all-time highs again. All right, well, not T21.23 first time. Gold, silver, and IWM. This is a repeat performance of the previous day. Diamond Dow made a lower high and a lower low, closing inside a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. QQQ, SPY made lower lows and lower highs, closing underneath bullish trap. SPY closed over the 17 while QQQ closed under the 17. SPY closed with a 2-hour downtrend and a 10-minute uptrend. FNGU, stinker, made a lower low and a lower high, closed under a bearish trap under the falling 17. USO in an uptrend made an outside day. It's a higher high and a lower low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. UNG made a new all-time low yesterday. US dollar index in a daily uptrend and closed near the 99.07 area. SPY max pain for today, 693, with a put-to-call ratio of about 1.2 puts for each call that expires today at 4:15. Those index options expire at 4:15. Security options expire at 4. Bulls and bears down here, okay? So if this is your first time seeing this, these are in daily uptrends above the 17 EMA. If they get a star, they're building on a launch pad or a bull flag from which to launch higher. These over here under the bears column are in daily downtrends under the 17 EMA. If they got a little star next to them, that would be a platform or a bear flag from which to dive lower. All right, let's take a look at the markets this morning. Let's push it over to the right here. Let's take a look at 10-minute chart. So 10-minute bullish consolidation in the pre-market right here. Left off in the close with 10-minute uptrend. Looking to trade a continuation of this 10-minute uptrend we left off with from yesterday. So bullish consolidation over prior consolidation. That's a bullish bias for me. I will be looking for a 10-minute uptrend to manifest so that I can trade that to the upside. All right, so I'll probably be looking for some calls or looking to pick off the bottoms of some call option candles, okay? More than likely, there'll be 695, 694, 696. I'll be looking to pick off the lows of those, all right? So there's SPY on the 10-minute chart. There's a morning plan right there. All right, let's take a look at the game plan this morning. And zoom out just a little bit here. Slide this over. Tighten it up some. All right, so we've got green erases red over 690.65, where we are well above that right now. We got the pivot, 688.50. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. You got red erases green underneath all of those tails from yesterday. All right, see the red, green down there. So underneath all that brick of consolidation right there. So below 686.15, I'm a bear, or that is a red erases green entry. Now, I trade 1 DTE and 8 DTE Friday options on the multiple of 5. All right, specifically for the open interest. I trade strikes $2 to $15 out of the money. They offer less risk, but less performance, okay? I am not opposed to trading zero DTEs, okay, or strikes that are in the money. Matter of fact, if you trade in the money options, you will probably get much better performance than I will with the out of the money options. Although the flip side is you will pay up for those in the money options, all right? Not as much paying for the security at full price, but you will pay up for those in the money options, all right? So that's something to think about, okay? But if you get a big hard drop like one of these, $3 10-minute candles, okay? If you've got 10 option calls that are in the money and you're getting that penny for penny performance, okay? Just think about that. That's about a $2,000 dip in your account just like that in 10 minutes, okay? So for that reason, I trade the out of the money option calls or option puts, all right? That's my preference, okay? I trade 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. I trade 10-minute downtrends under VWAP, all right? If a 10-minute uptrend happens to manifest down here, long before it gets to the green erases red entry up here, I'm not opposed to trading it. I just like to see it break the bullish 10-minute rubber band candle. Same thing on the 10-minute downtrends. If one were to manifest up here, long before it got to the red erases green entry, I would not be opposed to trading it. I just like to see it break the 10-minute bearish rubber band candle. Okay, so that's my game plan for this morning. Let's head on over here. We looked at the 10-minute already. Let's head on over to here, and we got it on the 10. Let's squeeze this out. We don't need that. And you can see we left off with a 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. On the 2-hour chart, we left off with a 2-hour downtrend. Notice the candlesticks are underneath the 3 EMA. The 3 in the candlesticks are underneath the 8 EMA. All 3 of them, the 8, the 3, and the candlesticks, underneath a rolling over 17 EMA. Okay, so that's those red dots right up there. So we got a 2-hour downtrend coming into the close. All right, on the daily chart, we've got a lower high and a lower low. We closed underneath bearish trap, underneath a bullish trap, but over the rising 17. That's the green dots right through here. So we're at the top of quadrant 4. We have not broken anything yet. So we're still bullish and in an uptrend on the SPY. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. See all the green dots, top of quadrant 4, April low, bullish and in an uptrend. Back to the daily chart. Okay, here's our April low. There's our rally up to the top of quadrant 4. Quadrants are listed as 1 being the one on the bottom, 2, 3, and 4 is the one on the top up there. Okay, so to capture those quadrant lines, I have a tool right here. It says quad lines. I just take it out and drag it over, and it already maps out the quadrant lines into 4 equal quadrants. Okay, so let's take a look at QQQ, because QQQ's got a game plan as well. Let's dig that out. All right, QQQ game plan, much like SPY. Green erase is red over 621.10. Pivot is 617.80. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Red erase is green under 614.85. And we've got, I like to trade 1 DTE and 8 DTE Friday options on the multiple of 5 specifically for the open interest. That usually equates to a tighter bid-ask spread, less slippage on my stop outs, okay? So that's my preference. I like strikes $2 to $15 out of the money. Like I said, I'm not opposed to trading 0 DTEs or in the money options, okay? I'm just saying that if you trade in the money options, you will pay up more than what I'm paying for my out of the money options, but you will get a better performance, okay? Hence, that's why they cost a little bit more. But it's clearly a lot less than what you'd be trading if you bought the index outright, 100 shares of it just for 1 option. Okay, so I trade 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. I trade 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. Okay, again, same thing. If a 10-minute uptrend were to manifest down here long before it got to the green erases red entry, I'm not opposed to trading it as long as it breaks the bullish 10-minute rubber band candle. Same thing on the flip side. I trade 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. Again, I'm not opposed to trading it as long as it breaks the bearish 10-minute rubber band candle. Okay, my favorite trade, because the market is bullish right now, okay, is the 10-minute uptrend over VWAP that resides inside of a 2-hour uptrend, that resides inside of a daily uptrend, that lives inside of a weekly uptrend, inside of a monthly uptrend. So I got all the bigger time frames supporting and pushing and helping my 10-minute uptrend last longer and go further. Okay, for that reason I like that. And I especially like it when they're over the all-time high anchored VWAP. For me, that's a winning trade, or probably will be a nice high-performing trade. So that's what I like. Right now, I'm not opposed to trading counter trend, and both of these are bullish, QQQ and SPY. I'm just saying be careful when you trade counter trend, because you could, let me just say, at any time the market could rally off of support, all right? And who knows what support they're going to deem as probably important. So we'll see what happens here. In the news, we have supposedly Supreme Court is going to make some announcements on the legality of the tariffs. Okay, if that comes out, there could be a whole lot of volatility. All right, so be careful with that. All right, so just saying, today could be a day loaded with a lot of volatility. We'll see what happens. Okay, right now I'm going to maintain my bullish bias. Okay, because we got consolidation over prior consolidation here. Okay, that gives me a bullish bias. Quite a bit of difference, though, right here. We'll see what happens, okay? So that's QQQ on the 10-minute chart. 2-hour chart. Same thing, as SPY on the 2-hour chart. We'll head over to a clean chart right here. You can see the candlesticks and the 3 are riding underneath the 8 EMA, which is the white line. Okay, the yellow line is the 3 EMA. You can see price action bouncing off of all-time high anchored VWAP. See right there, that's the all-time high. This pink line is the all-time high anchored VWAP. You can see price on the 2-hour chart bouncing off of that area. Got a 2-hour downtrend with a bounce, currently in the middle of a bounce right now. So there's 2-hour chart. So that's 2-hour downtrend. Notice candlesticks underneath the 8, gap open right here. And we're underneath the 200 SMA right there. So downtrend on the 2-hour chart. On the daily chart, a little bit different here. Okay, we got a lower high, lower low. We closed under bullish trap and under the rising 17, but over, okay, the pink line, that's the all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, we haven't broken any lows yet. And if we were to break this low here at 610.50, okay, that would put us into a downtrend. Currently, we're still in an uptrend, all right, and we're bullish because we're at the top of quadrant 4. Here's our April low, so we're bullish and in an uptrend. Weekly chart, you can see all the green dots. Obviously, that's bullish and in an uptrend. And the monthly chart, you see all the green dots, lots and lots of green dots. Okay, bullish and in an uptrend on QQQ. Okay, let's take a look at the daily chart. We'll look at IWM. This is going to be an easy one. New all-time high made yesterday. Okay, it doesn't get any better than that. This is our April low. Okay, this is our all-time high. This is IWM, aka the Russell 2000. All right, so market has money coming into the market. Notice the IWM is making new all-time highs. That doesn't happen without money flowing into the market. Okay, so that's bullish and then in an uptrend. Okay, the only problem is Stinker hasn't got the memo yet. All right, so let's take a look at Diamond Dow. And Diamond Dow, if we were to take out this low, we would negate the uptrend and convert the downtrend. Diamond down made a lower high and a lower low, closing inside of a bullish trap over the rising 17. That's these green dots right there. That's the 17 EMA. 8 EMA is the white one, 3 EMA is the yellow one. Okay, so diamond down, top of quadrant 4, that is bullish. Here's our April low. That's bullish and in an uptrend for diamond down. Okay, let's take a look at stinker. All right, so stinker is the big cap. All right, all the high leverage stocks that are inside. Not all of them, but some of the most highly leveraged stocks inside of QQQ and SPY. Okay, so stinker put in a lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap under a falling 17 EMA. Okay, underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, and also underneath what was once major support, which is now minor resistance. Okay, so it's not bullish at all. If it was in the upper third, it could have been bullish, but it's not. It's in the lower third. It's in the middle. All right, so it's neutral and in a downtrend here for stinker. All right, let's take a look at daily chart for silver. You can see silver. There's see that big green candle sticking up in the air. Okay, so that's new all-time high for silver. Okay, doesn't get any better than that. This is the 2022 origin of the move right here. Okay, new all-time high. Obviously, it's bullish and in an uptrend. They did it yesterday. They did it the day before. Okay, let's take a look at gold. Okay, gold's doing the same thing. All right. So you see up here, new all-time high, higher low, higher high, closing over the trap, over the rising 17, over a prior all-time high anchored VWAP. So that's top of quadrant 4. Okay, here's our 2022 origin right here. That's bullish and in an uptrend. Okay, again, it's making new all-time highs. Hard not to be bullish and in an uptrend when you're making new all-time highs. So that's gold. Okay, let's take a look at UNG. It's another easy one. Okay, lower high, lower low, closing. You can see right there, that is an all-time low. All right, right there, all-time low for UNG, aka the U.S. natural gas ETF, all-time low. Lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap under the falling 17. Bottom of quadrant 1, obviously that's bearish and in a downtrend well underneath this 2025 high anchored VWAP. That's the pink line right there. So bottom of quadrant 1, bearish and in a downtrend. That's UNG, all right? Let's take a look at USO. It's an outside day. It's a higher high, a lower low. And we closed over a bullish trap, over the rising 17, almost up to the upper third, okay? If it had closed way up here in the upper third, it would have been bullish. Still neutral, all right, and in an uptrend. Nice close over that 2022 post-COVID high. That's that post-COVID rally high, anchored VWAP. That's the pink line that runs all the way across here for these past 3 years, 2022. We're in 2026 right now. All right, so we're neutral. We're not in the upper third. We're not in the lower third. All right, and in an uptrend right now on USO on the daily chart. So they're breaking, see this? That's the downtrend line. They're breaking the downtrend line. We need to see them get up over this consolidation and hold the higher ground, okay? That would be nice. We'll see, all right? Right now, that's a pretty good sized red candle. The bears pushed back quite far. We'll see how much further they want to push. Obviously, they're going back down to the bottom of yesterday's low. Based on the price action over here to the right and that tail at the bottom of that candle. So that's USO. So we need them to hold the higher ground. They very well could recapture it by the end of day. We'll see what happens. Not looking good so far. USO. All right, let's take a look at technicals. T2101. Okay, so market made some new all-time highs. That would be IWM did, okay? SPY did not, but IWM did, and also T2123. So you replace the word breadth with the word participation, and we had an increase in participation, and the market made new highs in IWM. I like that. That's bullish. All right. I want to see more participation grow when the market's making new highs. Okay. I don't want to see it grow when it's making new lows. I want to see it grow when it's making new highs. So there's T2101 15-minute chart, kind of the participation measurement. I like that. Consolidation over prior consolidation. That's a bullish outlook. T2122. Okay, so we climbed right back into the buy zone, made a brief appearance inside the overbought zone, but all in all, we spent the majority of the day back in the buy zone. We like that. That's bullish for today, being since they closed in the buy zone today, unless there's some bad news that comes out. And there could be. We'll see what happens. T2122, bullish, up there in the buy zone. For the majority of the day yesterday. T2123, okay? In an uptrend right there. You can see, we'll zoom in. See this bullish gap up. See the space between the prior day's price action, all right, and the opening print. Okay, so we got a bullish gap up that was never filled by the bears, showing traders the bulls are clearly in charge, okay? Day before, bullish gap up and consolidate over to the right, showing traders the bulls are in charge, all right? The bulls have control. Another gap up, not filled by the bears. Another one, look at this, okay? Goes up and consolidates into the right. Notice they're not doing go up and give it up, okay? They're going up and they're holding the higher ground. Okay, that's like planking all day long, okay? It's very hard to do that. So they're showing you strength right there, okay? When they gap up and they go up and they hold that higher ground, it's a big show of strength in the market, okay? It's showing you money's getting pumped into the market, okay? And I was talking about those, that allocated money that comes with employee distributions, all right? It's at the end of the quarter, all right? And all through the quarter, employees get paychecks. Part of that paycheck winds up going to a 401k or a pension fund, all right? And what happens is at the end of the quarter, a lot of those distributions come from the company now and are sent to the fund manager, and the fund manager is just waiting there to put them to work, okay? And that's could be a good part of this rally that we're getting right here at the beginning of January, is all those employee distributions that came in from their paychecks, all right, are getting put to work, all right? Sad part is it's not going into the big caps, but it's nice to see it going into the small caps right now. Anyways, all right, so there's 15-minute chart. Lots of bullish gap ups holding the higher ground. Big show of strength. Bulls are clearly in charge. You can see we're in an uptrend. We're up over the 200 SMA. 200 is no longer flat. It's now hooking to the upside. It's a rising 200 now. This is bullish and in an uptrend. Now, if you look at it on the 3-bar chart, you can see we made a new all-time high. So yesterday, the high, it was 641.159. The prior all-time high was 641.158. So we made a new all-time high yesterday. Doesn't mean they have to stop. They can keep going. I'm not opposed to them keep going. Okay? And we had that inverse head and shoulders. This being the head, left shoulder over here, right shoulder over here. Okay? You can see where now the right arm or the right hand extends down to where the left hand or arm was left off, right there. We'd like to see it go a little further. Okay? Being since they made a an equal low, I would like to see them make a higher high. It very well could be that this is all they're going to do. We got equal low right here. So we could get equal high. We'll see what happens, all right? So see how this low comes back to this low right here. Equal low, equal high. We'll see. I think they go a little bit further. I actually do. All right, so there's T2123. Again, it's a new all-time high. It's hard not to be bullish and in an uptrend when you're making new all-time highs, okay? It's very difficult to do that. Okay, so you can see a 3-bar chart clearly in an uptrend and at the top of quadrant 4, so that's bullish. All right, you can see it's in an uptrend. It's over the rise, over the flat 200 SMA, so that's bullish up there. Okay, so here's our April low. Okay, here's our September all-time high until yesterday. Okay, here's our pullback low. Remember I said if they stay in the upper third, okay, that's bullish for me. Notice this head and shoulders neckline right at the upper third, all right, where I would draw the line right there at the upper third. Where does the pullback comes down and test the neckline of the prior head and shoulders, which was support, because obviously the head and shoulders pattern was busted up by price rising up over the head of the head and shoulders pattern, thereby negating the head and shoulders from playing out and making a new all-time high. So price pulls back to that neckline and then bounces back up over the 200. Took it a while to get there, but it finally got there. It's kind of wondering for a long time, all through these 2 weeks here, what's going on? Are they even going to have the juice to get over this high right here? And they did, and they got up there, and then they consolidated to the right, all right, right up here. And, of course, it was like a measured move from here to here and from here to here, kind of a measured move right there. So, new all-time high, T2123. All right, let's take a look at Stinker, and Stinker did not help us yesterday. Okay, so gap down. Bulls never filled the gap for Stinker. This is the big caps. Okay, we traded lower, and we left off the day in a downtrend. We did not make a higher high. Okay, so that's FNGU, not making a higher high. All right, so price action here. You can see clearly underneath a falling 200. Not my favorite place to be unless I'm a bear. I'm not wanting to be a bear right now. Underneath the all-time high anchored VWAP, that's the pink line. Okay, underneath the red line, which happens to be major support when you're above it, but we're no longer above it. We're actually consolidating underneath it, which is a bear flag, and we're seeing lower highs, all right, which kind of indicates a move to the southern direction here. Okay, I just want to point out on the banks, all right, you got investment banking here, and I was picking up on this yesterday. I did touch base on it a little bit. So anyways, Stinker, if we put the quad lines on it, it's the 15-minute chart. Okay, if I put the quad lines on there, all right, you can see at the bottom of quadrant 1, it's still in a downtrend, all right? So on the 15-minute chart, bearish and in a downtrend on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so let's go back to here. Okay, let's pick up a daily chart. All right, and JP Morgan reported the other day, and they did not get any love. Okay, so this is investment banking. Okay, you can't make market new all-time highs without investment banking. Okay, and we've been making a lot of new all-time highs. We didn't break the uptrend line, but we sure did penetrate it right there. Okay, so I'm just saying, be careful. All right, because in order to have a robust rally, you're going to need industrials, you're going to need banking, that's the financials, all right, and you're going to need technology. So industrials, technology, and banking. Okay, clearly this is one of the big boys when it comes to banking is JP Morgan Chase, all right? It clearly didn't get any love from the earnings that it announced the other day. If they start making a lower low, things could start falling apart. All right, I'm just saying, because we need the financials. All right, and you can see right there, they didn't get any love yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to take a peek at a couple other ones. Okay, so Bank of America, not much love there. All right, just saying, there's the earnings. Okay, not liking what I'm seeing. All right. All right, so there's Bank of America. I want to see what BlackRock did. I don't have it right up. And I don't know the ticker for BlackRock. If anyone knows it, let me know. All right, Goldman Sachs, let's see what they got. They haven't reported yet. They're due to report today. I'm pretty sure they're due to report today. Black BLK, thank you. BLK. Okay, BlackRock is up right now. And I think they're due to report today. Pretty sure. I got this little handy dandy schedule. And we're on Thursday. Yeah, Sachs is going to report. Morgan Stanley and BlackRock all due to report in the morning. I guess they haven't come out yet, or they did, and that's all we're going to get. So we'll look at Morgan Stanley and we'll look at Goldman Sachs. Okay, so BlackRock is up in the morning, not much, not breaking any highs. So still good. That's still good. That at least it's not down like Bank of America and JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs. All right. You can't make new all-time highs without investment banking. And if the market's not giving them love off this last quarter, which was filled with a lot of new all-time highs, you're getting a pullback. You're not breaking anything here, but you're not showing me. You're not impressing me at all. All right, on Goldman Sachs. All right, Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley's same thing, going in the wrong direction. All right, so they're not hanging out up here. I'd like to see them hang out up here. That would be good. Instead, they're hanging out down here, okay? Not too good. Things could turn around once the market opens, okay? Things sometimes do turn around once the market opens. A lot of this stuff is just positioning for a market open to rally up through it. We'll see. There's Morgan Stanley. Not looking too good. Goldman Sachs not looking too good. BlackRock, I think looked like the most healthy one there, yeah, with its trading up here. So other than that, all right, we need investment banking, and there's no reason why these guys shouldn't be hitting new all-time highs based on the market hitting new all-time highs, and these are the guys that facilitated it. Okay, so when an institution wants to buy some securities or a fund manager, okay, they go through investment banking and they facilitate that money going in. So they know exactly how much money's getting pumped in to that security. All right, so if they don't, I mean, just knowing that, I mean, they should be able to just follow the coattails of that and make some new all-time highs for themselves, or some new earnings for themselves, and just not getting any love. So this is kind of a yellow flag. All right, just saying right now. Okay, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but this could be a yellow flag in that the financials are not hitting the new all-time highs while the market is. Okay, so there's BlackRock. All right, so let's go to the economic package. Let's wrap this up. All right, we'll start off with U.S. dollar. All right, I'm going to scooch it down. Actually, I'm going to squint it up. All right, and all right, so here is right over here. Okay, this is the 2025 high. It's actually made in January of 2025. Okay, there's the 2025 high. From January, the 2025 high, we have melted down. All right, and now we are in a bear flag. Okay, notice the move is down and over to the right. Okay, in this bear flag. Okay, so this is the top of the flag. See this rollover right there. This double top here and here, okay, is also the top of the flag, all right, top of the bear flag. Currently, okay, you can see price. There's a high right here. We made a higher high. So the daily chart is in an uptrend. We closed at the bottom of that red body. I think it's like 99.07, 99.06 right there. Okay, so still in an uptrend. Okay, if they bust out of the top of this bear flag, that'll be a broken bear flag. We'll see what happens. Okay, but daily chart is in an uptrend. And notice here's a low. They made a higher low. Are the bulls going to have enough juice to make a higher high? Well, they couldn't do it here. Notice the double top. They had to take out that high right there. So we'll see. We're coming back up to it again if they're going to do it. So there's U.S. dollar index. On max pain for today, which is probably irrelevant. 693 is max pain. You can see we're already there. So it's kind of irrelevant. Put to call ratio 1.2 puts for each call that expires today. Well, if you're already at 693, I mean, you might as well just rally the puts. See if you can get a put squeeze right at the open. So it'll probably be a short burst to the upside right at the open. So we could see a short burst to the upside. In other words, the put squeeze, and the puts will have to cover. All right, and then that'll probably be it. Then they'll probably consolidate near the highs. All right, that's most likely going to be the play this morning. Okay, all right, so we'll see what happens though. Okay, most likely. All right, not a guarantee. 693 max pain, put to call ratio 1.2 puts for each call that expires today. Remember those index options. This is for the SPY. They close at 4:15 while the security options close at 4. All right, on the economic report. Okay, got a lot of stuff for reports today, I think. Okay, so we got jobless claims. Notice it's not delayed. Comes out at 8:30. Already came out. Retail sales delayed report comes out at 8:30. Okay, so that's not the real one. This is one that was delayed due to the shutdown. They're just now trying to catch up. So that's delayed report 8:30. Already came out. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index 8:30. Empire State Manufacturing Index. We didn't give you one manufacturing index. We gave you one from another town over. All right, so another one at 8:30. You got the import-export prices, 8:30. All right, business inventories at 10. Natural gas report at 10:30. Notice we had the beige book at 2 o'clock yesterday. We did get a reversal. I don't know if it was right at 2 o'clock. We'll have to take a look at it. Tomorrow we got industrial production, 9:15. Housing market index, 10 o'clock. Usually there's a rig count at 1. And let's just go look and see if there was a 2 o'clock reversal on the SPY. That was the beige book. Okay, so that is 145. Well, they actually started going up long before it. You can see right here was a consolidation, and then they started to drift up higher. But anyways, we crossed the line. 3 crosses over the 8 at 2 o'clock right there. So I guess you can give the beige book the credit for it. I don't know if you want to. All right, so back to the economic report. And already went through that. So the headliner this week was the CPI at 8:30, and we've already been through that. Earnings reports. Taiwan Semiconductor actually, okay, so they found their P&L. So they're going to report, the usually tech reports in the evening. Semiconductor's going to report in the morning sometime. If they didn't already, have to take a look at that one. Morgan Stanley in the morning, Goldman Sachs in the morning, BlackRock in the morning, and Citizens Financial, that would be a regional bank, okay? BlackRock's investment banking, Goldman Sachs, obviously they're investment banking, Morgan Stanley. They think they're investment banking, I guess. I don't really think so. They run a couple of funds. Taiwan Semiconductor, big player in the AI community, all right? So this could really start juicing the market as far as AI, bring in, maybe spin things around. We'll see. $1.7 trillion, that reports this morning. Taiwan Semiconductor. Morgan Stanley, $290 billion. Okay. Goldman Sachs, $281 billion. And BlackRock, mine's aren't that great, $69 billion. So a whole lot of market cap reporting this morning. Okay. Mainly Taiwan Semiconductor. Okay. See, tech leads us out of everything. Okay. It's always going to be tech that leads us. All right. And you can see this is a big one in tech. All right. So all eyes are be looking on TSM today. All right. We'll see how they're doing. All right. So that's the earnings report. We did the economic report. We did the Max Payne, and we did the dollar. And TSM way up now after reporting. That is great news for the market. Thank you for sharing that, Sue. All right. So that's fantastic. TSM. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, way up. You were right, Sue. That's way up there. All right, let's take a look at it on the daily chart. Is that a new all-time high? Whoa. Clicking off a new all-time high on Taiwan Semiconductor right there. So, could see a nice rally. All right, if the rest of the AI community gets behind this, we could see a new all-time high in SPY today. All right, so don't sell yourself short. Okay, be careful going counter trend. Okay, here's TSM making new all-time highs. All right, if the rest of the AI community gets a hold of this, or even smells something bullish, they'll be happy to rise higher. So we'll see what happens. All right, we'll see what happens. All right, so it's looking good. Again, back to the SPY. You got consolidation over prior consolidation. Let's get the one with the pre-market on there. Okay, so you got consolidation over prior consolidation. All right. This is the prior consolidation right here. Consolidation over prior consolidation. That's bullish. Okay, so we had a 10-minute uptrend. It consolidated. Now we're breaking out. I want to trade a continuation of the 10-minute uptrend. Here, let me get my little signage out. Big alert. 10-minute uptrend over VWAP observed. All right. Okay, so 10-minute uptrend. I'll be looking to buy a basket of calls. Like to see them break that lonely middle finger right there. See the middle finger that sticks up in the air? Got to break that middle finger off and start taking out the next high. Okay, so we got to take that out. Once we take that out, start working on that next high. Looking good. Looking good for some new all-time highs. I'm just saying, 693.61. We're only a couple bucks away. So this is looking good for today. Maybe even 700. Okay? Looking good for today. Nice move up. All right? All right, I'll see you guys all in about 35 minutes, and we'll open up the market. Again, I'll be trading and looking for a continuation of the same 10-minute uptrend. All right? I'm bullish this morning. Markets is bullish. All right? See you guys in 35 minutes.